The Jaguar XJS V12. This is what I chose for you, dude.
Yeah, no, it's got a bit of a...
In terms of viewers to your shows, there's the stuff on camera that we know, with Extreme World, with Ross Kemp on it, with all that sort of stuff. But what about off camera? What sort of...
I mean, do you know what? Doing Extreme World was never that much of a leap for me, because honestly, mate, if you give me a boat, I'll beach it. I beached a boat once on a holiday in the Bermuda Triangle. The next day I took out a golf buggy and I buried that in the sand. I mean, I literally am walking, well, a walking ditting machine, as they say in the military. I can tell you stories about lots of different places around the world where I've basically messed up.
Right, hang on, you're in the last off-the-line Jaguar XJS V12 6-litre, low mileage, priceless car.
Let's see if we get close to them, see how they feel. See how they feel about the brakes.
Oh no, this is the thing. Your level of threshold. You're like, uh-oh. Okay, this is kind of cool.
Rock it off.
Does your heart rate? Is your heart rate increasing?
Well, I'm trying to get a bit of kick down on it.
Oh, hang on.
Tree
Go.
Don't hit the tree. Don't hit the tree. Don't hit the tree.
Hit the tree.
Hit the tree. It's a bit backy, isn't it?
Yeah,
so it's rear
wheel drive. Yeah, totally. A lot of fun, you know.
But that's what it's all about, isn't it? That's what cars like this were made to be.
Yeah. So what is the weirdest thing that's ever happened to you in your life off camera that we know nothing about?
Well, a load of weird things happen. I did have someone break in when I was very young, and I was in EastEnders. I had a flat, and a guy started sending videos of himself acting and putting them through my front door. And then my car, I got one of the worst mistakes I ever made in terms of cars was I got rid of a 16-valve Golf and bought an Astra GTE.
Oh, dude! I mean, okay.
What move was that about?
Absolutely. No,
anyway, it ended up getting Grant scratched into the side of it. I knew someone was obviously upset with me. Then my then girlfriend's laundry started getting cut off the washing line, getting shredded, and then I came back. In those days, I was playing rugby. I came back from rugby training session, and someone had kicked the doors off the hinges and got into the flat. The two guys next door who worked for Marks & Spencer had chased him down the road, and he was eventually caught, the lad. I hope he's all right now. I haven't heard from him since, so I hope he's okay.
Wow, that's a weird thing to happen, right?
It is a bit weird, but you know what? You know, when you were on television, and in those days it was in front of like 25 million people, you know, you get all sorts.
What was your first car? I mean,
my first car, I can tell you exactly what it is. And I'll tell you why, it's associated with a different soap. I got a part in Emmerdale Farm.
No, you didn't.
I was...
Can you do Northern accent?
Dolly's the legitimate bastard son, Graham Lodsworth.
Right.
And I was on the run from Northern Ireland.
That's a bit Leeds, pal.
It was a bit Leeds.
It was Leeds. Because I'm from Sheffield.
Oh, are you now?
Yeah.
Are you Blades or are you...
I'm Blades, mate. Through and through. Of course I am.
My favourite cameraman is, or one of my favourite cameramen, be careful what I say.
Right.
Jonathan Young is very much...
he's a Northern
Blades.
pal.
He's it.
Right.
So, as is Mr. Bean, yeah?
Yep.
Sean, who's a fine actor.
Absolutely.
So,
who's got a box.
Yeah, he's massive, isn't he?
Massive blade.
But anyway, going back to the Yorkshire episode of my life, yeah, I lived up there, and I got the job, and I bought this car because I used to live not far from Dagenham, where a lot of the Fords were made, and there was this midnight blue 1.6, no less.
Sexy.
1.6 Capri, midnight blue, and the registration was JET194W.
Wow.
Jet.
Wow. And what a jet it was with its 1.6 litres.
1.6 engine going up the A1 with the elbow out, mate.
Oh no, loving it.
Laying back on the nylon seats.
Mate,
and I'm halfway down, and my mum, because I was 20, so still quite young, just straight out of drama school, as green as you get. And I rang, my mum said, I want you to ring halfway up the motorway to make sure the car hasn't broken down and you're in one piece. So in those days, before mobile phones, I went to a service station and put, 10 pence into a slot.
You didn't reverse charge it.
No, you wouldn't have accepted it, mate. Anyway, and she said, Ross, we just had the insurance company on the phone. They found out you're an actor. Well, I did say that. That's why I bought the car, because I got the money from my first acting job.
Yeah.
And they said, you're not insured. So she had to find an insurance broker as I was driving. I waited at the service station. She got who charged obviously 3 times as much.
No way.
We're moving now.
This is flying now, isn't it?
Yeah.
What? I mean, we're doing like 60.
Don't feel like.
Look at. I mean, the revs. You're doing 1200. It's
It's not even close, is it?
No. This is it's sort of a dry weather car, to be honest. It's going to be tail happy.
Yeah.
But
it's getting slightly wet today, isn't it?
But
there is a lot of play there. I mean, I don't know how much play. Tim, would you know I mean,
yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's an old car. That's kind of the way they were.
Yeah.
But you get used to it. You compensate. That's why in the old movies you see people doing that just to go in a straight line. So what is? So the Capri was your first car then? That was your first car you were bothered about.
Capri.
Have you stayed into Capris? Did you ever? You know...
No, because I tell you one story. I did have a 911 at one point, and I was going up the M5 to do some filming.
Which 911 was it?
It was it was the Targa.
996,
996,
996. Okay, cool. Yeah.
996. The same colour as this, so that kind of like ice blue. Yeah. Yeah. Lovely car.
4S.
No, it was just a Targa.
Carrera. Okay,
just a Targa Carrera. And I think they didn't know if they did a 4 version of that. In those days, they only did a 4 hardtop. Anyway, I bought it brand new out of AFN Chiswick, saved up all my pennies, and for a long, long time. And I loved it. And I see this car up my, I won't say how fast I was going,
yeah, go on.
Just above, obviously, the speed limit. And this car kept coming up behind me. It was pale powder blue. Right? Okay, it's a Capri. And I'm going, well, what is that?
What, trying to like race you?
No, coming up behind me and then dropping back.
Right.
Racing
yeah, that's how we do it,
and
man.
Dropping back. Right?
Let's go. That's one of those.
Here comes
right.
police. They've heard about us. They're on their way. Kemp's on the road. Go nick him. And eventually I thought, oh, I'll put my foot down and just see how fast this thing can do. He was doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
He was racing right up behind me and dropping back and racing up. And eventually he came parallel with me. And he looked a bit like Harry Enfield. You know when they used to do the don't start, don't start? He had a big black perm.
Was he a Scouser?
I don't know, mate. He didn't. The conversation, I think he was a Brummie, actually.
Right.
Well, anyway, eventually we got to a traffic jam and he pulls parallel with me. And it's a Capri Tickford.
Oh, dude.
One of the coolest cars, I think, was ever made.
2.8 V6. It's an Aston Martin.
Massive Martin and a Capri body.
Absolute
right?
dude. Okay, so that you should drop off in that case.
Yeah. That's where you pull over and go, you go, buddy.
Sorry, carry on.
Yeah.
Wow, what a car, what a car.
Yeah.
This particular car, I mean, how does it make you feel when you drive it? Because, I mean, I've noticed you're very comfortable with it and you're chatting just like you've been driving this thing for ages.
I don't say I love it. You said you chose this car for me, and when I looked at it, I went, it just reminds me of something out of Reggie Perrin. For those of us who are, this would not have been my first choice of car of all the cars in the museum, but it's quite comfy, isn't it?
It's a nice drive.
It's responsive.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to go well, pushing it around a track. I think it will be all over the place. Spin on a dot.
What did you have? This car to me is. People have levelled that it's your dad's car.
My dad couldn't have. My dad would have had like I don't know, Volkswagens. He did have a Mercedes for a bit though. He did splash out on a Mercedes, but he soon got rid of that.
Could you not see him in this?
He's got a Mercedes now actually, so he was always a Merc man. But I can see it. I can see like any one of my dad's generation in a car like this.
What did your dad do? What does he do?
He's a retired detective superintendent in the Met.
He's not, is he really?
Yeah, he can drive as well. He was in the Sweeney for 2 tours and he was in the regional crime squad. So we had a Triumph 2 litre.
Oh, the 2000.
Yeah, 2000.
Yeah, totally.
That had a bit of pump to it.
Yeah.
And occasionally when my mum wasn't in the car, he'd throw it around for us. I shouldn't say that, Dad, sorry. I think I've grassed you up.